So, Mark, did you see that picture of this awesome group of people in 1981 at Caesar's Palace in the suite? They're living it up in the hot tub, drinking champagne, overlooking the strip. This was a year before I was born, but I want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be awesome now. I don't care if the hot tub's a little aged looking. I think that room would still sell and be hot, and throwbacks are in vogue again. So sign me up. I'll sit in a hot tub.
Apparently, those suites were used in a ton of movies, according to this Twitter thread. And so they were very famous from over the years. I'm assuming they're still there in that form or some form, obviously renovated. I don't know what they look like today. Maybe somebody can let us know. But there probably isn't a better vantage point. A hot tub overlooking the strip right in that location. So cool.
Yeah, and that's the same view from the Hard Rock, according to the movie 21, right?
Well, TV, movies, Vegas, geography is something to be played with. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So good news, I suppose, or interesting news for people flying through Reid International Airport. The TSA has installed their very first set of automated screenings, meaning you don't have to deal with a TSA employee, or hopefully you don't. You enter this room that has a screen, do-it-yourself instructions. Your bags are scanned automatically. I've used some of these automated systems in other airports, not quite this one, that fail quite often, and they still require heavy searches, and I feel like they take more time than they save, but they say that this will help free security officers to find other problems, I suppose.
I'm skeptical as well. And then, even when we see these new machines that scan bags and it was supposed to move it quicker, you don't have to take anything out of your bag. Those take longer than the old style, even with having people remove stuff and put it back in. So technology doesn't seem, as far as TSA goes, doesn't seem, one, to help catch anything more than it used to, and two, move things any quicker. So I won't be using these lines most likely.
What was interesting is the company said that it would require only 8 TSA officers at the average checkpoint compared to 12 with this new system. But then the union got mad and they're like, oh, nobody's going to lose their jobs. So they spent all this money and they're still going to have to hire everybody. But it looks cool. It's Terminal 3 and only for TSA pre-check. So next time I fly out, I will make sure to check it out. But if you are looking to do that, the future, head to Terminal 3 if you have pre-check and go do it. This is the first one in the country. They have been running trials of this, but this is a permanent installation. It's going to stay there and most likely get rolled out to other airports pretty soon.
I was surprised when they said 12 to 8. Like, I didn't think that was a good cut for having to not deal with TSA people at all. I didn't see, and now you're saying that they complain about even that. So I don't know. I would think it'd go down to like 2 people if it's really that great of a system.
Well, we'll see how it works, but how long before we have security robots frisking us down?
4 years, 5 years, I don't know.
Good old AI security robots.
In Japan, at least. In Japan.
But the Japanese ones will be so friendly. We are partnering with Golden Nugget Online Casino today to share an awesome deal. Golden Nugget Online Casino allows you to play all of your favorite games right on your phone. Today, we partnered with them to bring MTM Vegas viewers an awesome deal. All new customers who sign up with the promo code M2M and make a minimum $5 deposit within 7 days of registration will get $50 in casino credits.
I've been using Gold Nugget here in Michigan for a couple years, and it's got all the games that I want: blackjack, roulette, craps, even live dealer action, unique games like Rocket. I always have fun playing it. They keep updating it. It gets better and better, and getting $50 up front, that's pretty awesome.
Yes, that's $50 in casino credits when you make a deposit of at least $5 within 7 days. Golden Nugget Online Casino has all of your favorite slots, including Fire Buffalo and Lobster Mania, plus exclusive games as well. Head over to the Golden Nugget Online Casino app right now, and don't forget to use promo code M2M when signing up. Thanks to Golden Nugget Online Casino for sponsoring this video. I wanted to follow up briefly. I talked about a few weeks ago how I joined Las Vegas Advisor. Give them a shout out. I don't have any relationship with them. They just have that coupon book. It's pretty good. We've talked about some of the discounts and how you can save money if you utilize them. I used my first one at Rio a couple weeks ago, speaking of Rio, for the free play match that they have, and that worked just fine. Or it was free slot play. You earn a certain number of points, you give them the coupon, and they loaded it right up. So just wanted to highlight that again for people. Check out that. There are lots of food deals, different free play deals, and certainly, it's a couple $100 worth of value, but you will come out ahead as long as you use it.
Yeah, I haven't used one in a few years, but I did get one in the past, and just taking advantage of 2 or 3 of those things will usually pay for itself, and it's kind of fun. It gets you almost scavenger hunt places you might not have gone otherwise, so I've always enjoyed it for that.
Yeah, it makes it kind of cool, gives you something to do, and they have a good relationship. It's nice when you bring a coupon and it's redeemed. It can be a little daunting to bring like a coupon to a players club and trying to get free play, and just they handled it perfectly. I just wanted to talk about that experience because that was the first coupon we got to redeem. Let's move on to Rio and people getting stuff stolen. This is a good reminder. Just lock your hotel room before you go. Put the manual lock on there so people can't get in. These guys were here a few weeks ago playing pool. They were professional pool players, and they had $10,000 stolen out of their room at Rio. There have been some reports online. I don't know, this is all anecdotal, that this has happened at Rio quite often before. Other people have talked about at other casinos seeing people kind of walk the floors checking rooms, like if a room is open a crack. One talked about this lady who had a cane and she would just like poke the doors of every room, and he saw her on many visits. So I guess this is a thing, but if you lock the door, people aren't going to be able to get in. And I think that's the moral of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I always do the deadbolt, even though there are ways to get around that. It's less likely, and maybe there's things on Amazon that you can put on the floor to stop doors from opening and stuff like that. But some of this, the hotel should have cameras up there in the hallways. They should see people going around and testing doors right and left. This should be kind of cut off, especially if you know it's an issue. Then you need to focus on it. Have somebody check room keys, which I know somebody could rent a room and get in there. But do you have any suspicions that this is another case of ladies of the night and they don't want to admit it? Because that's the first thing I thought.
They were pretty public with this, and they were saying Rio wasn't helping them, and I don't know what the resolution to it was. I'm sure with all the attention, Rio did step in. This was, a week or two ago. Yeah, I mean, that's your first thought, right? But why make it so public if that wasn't the case? The truth will come out. I think it's probably true that they left it and people are getting into hotel rooms. And you do feel kind of secure, and you should remember that that's not the case. I travel internationally a lot, so I'm always sort of aware of locking stuff up in my room, but you want to feel at home, especially if you're in a nicer hotel. I'm not saying Rio is that, but even in the nicest of hotels, this does happen. And a five-star hotel doesn't matter. People can get in your room and steal your stuff. It sucks, man.
Especially when you're sleeping. That's wild.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even say that. They were all asleep when this happened. I forgot to mention that. And this is supposedly happens often. So yeah, don't be a deep sleeper, I suppose. I don't know. Let us know. Have you ever heard of stuff like this in Vegas? Apparently, it's more common based on some of the comments I saw. So I'd be interested to hear other stories of this happening. Now, moving out to Henderson, Inspirada Station may be happening sooner than we thought. Durango opened last year. We know that they're going to do a phase 2, and Inspirada is most likely their next station casino property. And they already got approval last year for this, and then they went back to the city council this week, got additional approvals, also closed on that 3.6 acre parcel of land that they're buying from Henderson. And the most important thing from this Fox 5 report, saying that construction could start this year with an opening next year, I think that could be wrong. I don't know. Based on the timeline for Durango, how long it took to build, how long these properties are taking, I would think next year would be optimistic.
Yeah, it'd be kind of wild, especially when the A's are going to take like 5 years or whatever we're at now to build the stadium. But it'd be kind of cool if they could get it done. The renderings all look amazing. They've done a really good job the last several properties they put together. I mean, Stations is kind of knocking it out of the park. And somebody made a good comment a couple weeks ago when we were talking about how Circa's social media is really good. And they said Stations is the other one that does a really good job. And I think they did do that with Durango and kind of getting people excited about it. And also, had some fun with it. And you don't see that as much for the bigger casinos, so I'm glad that they keep rolling with that. They continue to open up great properties.
Their owners have deep pockets, so maybe this is a reason to spend money right now, seeing how Durango was so positively accepted in the community and so busy, and maybe they're just like, let's move on and get this thing open because there is huge demand. That area near Inspirada, tons of people moving there. Obviously, M is not too far away and they're building another tower, but it doesn't take much to create a more lively atmosphere than the M these days. So I think they'll do quite well up there. And it's a neat piece of land growing like crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if they just fast track the small version like they did with Durango, and then they can expand it as they go. That's been their footprint. And 2025, maybe another new casino coming next year. We didn't expect that we would get one so soon.
Let's just space out the slot machines some this time. Like, give people room to breathe.
Probably not going to happen, but let's hope. So, Mark, I feel vindicated. Did you see this article in the Review Journal? Having people guess casino carpets. It's just pictures of carpets and you get a guess which casino it is. I went through the list. Now, I wish they did it in a different way where they didn't list the casino right next to the picture, like maybe put the answers at the end so people could kind of do it because it made it hard to avoid spoilers. I think I got most of them. There were one or two that I recognized the carpet, but I couldn't place where it was. And this is a good test. If anybody wants to do it, head to this Review Journal article. I'll put a link in the description. You can go through all the casino carpets. I was impressed that they had the new New York, New York and new Luxor carpets on there already as well.
I was noticed a couple, or I guessed a couple right, and then there was other ones that, like you, I'm like, I know I've seen that, and I've only been paying attention the last 6 months or so since we talk about it so much, but it is kind of funny to see, like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Golden Nugget. I remember it from Laughlin, even though they use it in Vegas too. Like, the fact that they use it across all the brands, in different areas, different states even at times is kind of cool, and something that you'll see even when you leave Las Vegas, you'll still notice the same type of carpets.
Yeah, the Golden Nugget one, that's an easy one. So distinctive in the colors and boldness. I got that one for sure. And some of the other newer ones, Harrah's, Flamingo. But yeah, there was a couple others like Plaza that I missed. So I guess I got to look down more. I don't know. I'm not looking down enough, but I know everybody out there just loves this. And I love that the Review Journal did an article like this, sharing the love of casino carpet, making people aware of this beautiful genre of art. Let's call it a genre of art, Mark. I like it. So Jacob's Life in Vegas, he's been doing a good job starting all kinds of conversations on X. Great follow there. Obviously, great follow on YouTube as well. Lots of content. But he put out favorite credit cards to use in Las Vegas. Now, we talk credit cards for our day jobs, and it's hard to come down with like, okay, here is the one credit card you should use. So I don't want to use this segment for that, but more to talk about some of the responses there. People are using Stations, Casinos, MasterCard. One guy said he maintains president status without doing any gambling there. To which I say, why do you need president status if you don't do any gambling there? I'm sure you get a little access or something. Somebody wished they Boyd had a credit card. Don't use these credit cards. Like, I get that if you have a specific strategy and you're trying to earn status and top yourself off, it could work. Even the MGM and Caesars cards generally aren't good for your return. And if you're spending like tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on a card that's giving you half the return that you could get on even a 2% cash back card, it starts to add up over time. So people should kind of keep an eye on that and not get so blinded by, some of the perks.
Yeah, like get a city double cash, get your 2%, and just do the math on that. Look at how much you spent on these casino cards over the last year, and then think, if I spent that same amount on this and I'd get 2%, how much more would that fuel my gambling budget and stuff? And did I get enough perks from it? Most of the time, you're not going to, unless you're doing it specifically for for status or something that you like to get to the next tier, and then unlocks all this stuff. For the most part, that's the same thing with airline cards. A lot of people have Delta Sky Miles cards. It's a terrible return. You're usually getting like 1% back on your spend. So, always compare it to a 2% card. Most times you'll come out ahead for that, and there's no annual fee on those too.
Yeah, if fees are your problem, you can do that. And getting cash back, that's money for your Vegas trip. So if you're getting half the cash back using the MGM card that you could just get straight cash back and you don't need the benefits or the Stations card or whatever, you should probably do that. It could be hundreds of dollars a year or more that you're giving up. And there's other people who say do sign up bonuses, welcome offers. Somebody said that. I sign up for a card, get the welcome offer, move on to the next card. And then somebody else said Wyndham for Caesars Diamond, Hyatt, IHG, Marriott for free rooms, the Chase Sapphire Reserve to transfer to Hyatt points for stays and United points for plane tickets. That sounds more like my strategy. That's about what I do. I have so many credit cards, one for each little thing that I'm doing.
The more you get into it, the more you can save on your trip. There's a whole bunch of different ways. Transferable currencies are best. They give you the most options for hotels, things like Ultimate Rewards from the Sapphire Preferred or Sapphire Reserve. Can transfer to Hyatt, can transfer to Southwest, United, all that stuff. So that's a good starting point for anybody.
And for more information on this, we both do this, milestomemories.com and travelonpoints.com for Mark's stuff. And yeah, check it out if you want to get deeper into this. So much opportunity with the credit card space, well beyond the scope of this show, but everyone out there could be doing far better, getting more rewards. Certainly if you're using some of those terrible credit cards that they want you to use. I get it, but some of them are terrible, not naming which ones. So let's close with this. An article on CNN. This guy talked about the embarrassing number of visits he's had to Las Vegas and all the lessons he learned along the way. He's a reporter, which is sort of interesting. He's had some very outsized experiences over the years. And he mentions Hunter S. Thompson in his article, and he kind of gave me Hunter S. Thompson vibes, not in that he was doing crazy things, but I don't know, he seemed like he was in some very interesting places back in the day. And then now he does Vegas completely different.
I felt kind of seen with this, reading parts of the articles, and it's kind of like the transformation of life. Like in the 20s and early 30s, it was just kind of go and stay up all night and have fun, gamble, drink, party, all that stuff. And now as I hit my 40s and stuff, I'm looking for a different experience, and you're not really focused on the strip as much, and you're kind of looking for more local places and arts district and things like that. And it's funny, he makes a comment, he's like, so we fly all this way to just go to a neighborhood bar that we could probably find anywhere, which is true, but it still feels different because it's Vegas. And when you first start going to Vegas, you have this, oh, I'm going to come and make all this money and I have the chance to strike rich. And then when you get older, you realize that you're just trying to like not lose your money as much. So it just you mature and you understand what it is. And it's still fun, still love it. You still you just come for different reasons as you get older.
Yeah, it's a fun place. I think something that happens as you get older is you forget why it exists for younger people. And I think that's something that we try not to do here. And some of our audience, we get kind of cranky. It's expensive. Things have changed. What is this for? But the city has done such a good job of appealing to everybody. And the fact that it can follow you through your entire life and give you things to do and give you reasons to go back. I think he said he's been here 44 times, is a testament to Las Vegas itself, how it provides these different experiences and why some of these things that come to Las Vegas aren't necessarily for you or me or for the people out there, because it's going to attract the 20-something-year-olds. It's going to attract the 30, 40. They have to get everybody. And the city has changed at the same time we have. So that's also interesting as well. It's not like it's the same city and we've changed. The city has changed along with it. And that's good and bad, as we talk about so much. People like to highlight the bad, but there is definitely a lot of good as well. There's so much more to do, better restaurants, better activities. It's just a better place to visit, I would say, overall for most people.
Yeah, I think it's way more well-rounded than it used to be. Like you said, dining, even shows, we're seeing like a different variety, and that's kind of morphed throughout the years. The magicians have dropped off some, and and even like the cirque shows aren't as popular, and we're morphing into the music scene and stuff, and that brings in a different crowd of people, whether it's EDC stuff or if it's regular pop and hip hop and all that stuff. You're appealing to a wider audience, and that's kind of cool to see. It's growing and changing, and you just kind of have to accept it. Even though we talked about on a previous show how we love the old school Vegas stuff, we have to find what we love about the new school stuff as well.
And who wants everything to be the same anyway? I don't want Vegas to be the same. As much as we love nostalgia, we like new things too. And that's, you can't always have the good with the bad. And we talked on the previous show about historic things you can still see in Vegas, and we love all of that. And then all of the new stuff coming along the way, and just how we relate to it and how that changes over the years. I think it's a cool topic, and I'd love to hear from people out there on how this has been for them and why they keep coming back, even though they know what the city is, they know everything. There's got to be reason, and I think he did a great job in this article of breaking that down for his life and his story. And it's just a sort of a nostalgic, great look at Las Vegas and how it's touched one life.
Yeah, and I think a really cool way to keep Vegas fresh and kind of keep your love pumping for it is, I like to come every once in a while with somebody that's never been, and you get to show them like all the highlights, and you see it through their eyes, and they see it, they're amazed by everything, and it kind of brings back the joy and love that maybe you lost a little bit for certain areas and certain things, or you go rediscover something that you haven't been to for a while because they've never seen it. So I think that's always kind of fun and something I encourage everybody to do. If you can get a trip and involve somebody that's never been, it really adds to it.
Yeah, that's so much fun to see the world through somebody else's eyes. That's the downside when you do something so much, whether it's travel, head to Vegas, whatever you do, it's less special, and finding ways to make it special again. That's the secret, I think, and certainly a worthy pursuit. So let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about today. Security robots at the airport, Rio, people getting things stolen out of their hotel rooms, nostalgia for Vegas, all that. Hit us up in the comments. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple days with another show. Check out our Patreon as well. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Have a good weekend, everybody.